right, very exciting day today. We have been down here for a month and haven't left the dock. Today, we're leaving the dock and, well, we're just going to the boatyard. Not terribly exciting, but exciting to finally move the boat and fingers crossed nothing happens with the engine.
Robert, this is Will Marks again with the podcast. Just pulling into the creek now. All right. How much? 46,000 pounds. I was thinking 40.
24 on the front, and
All right, so where do you want to start?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Where I want to start? I'm just going to double check I'm recording. All right. So in our 4 weeks in St. Pete, we got a lot done that we haven't had a chance to talk to you at all about yet.
Most of our time during the 4 or maybe it was 5 weeks that we were on maternity leave, taking advantage of that and using it to refit the boat instead of taking care of our child, was primarily focused on hitting survey items. Most were not like superficial cosmetic things. It was all about like safety items, things that could potentially sink the boat, of which there were many. Deteriorated hoses, rusted through hose clamps, seacocks that were failing, not just like hard to open and close, but in the case of several of them were corroded to the point that they were weeping through, and even the slightest pressure against the side probably would have snapped it clean off. So we had to really focus our attention just on these kind of basic safety items that would allow us to sleep at night, but also allow us to actually insure the boat. But we also did knock out a few other things. There was a lot of crap on the boat. I am clearing out a decade's worth of, maybe more than a decade's worth of accumulated crap from old projects, I guess. Like every locker, every bilge is about like this, just full of junk. Can't even see what's under here until I get rid of all this stuff, so I can map out the boat, see where all the through holes are, figure out what needs to be replaced. Yeah, just found a new through hole. Never had seen that one before.
Oh, great.
The previous owner, lovely guy, but a slightly different mentality than I have towards stuff. And my impression is that he never threw away a single thing that either the previous owner had left on the boat or he had brought on the boat. So there was just so much stuff, some of it useful, some of it not. It was a little bit hard to make heads or tails of what was what, and not that well organized, and just crammed in every bilge, every locker, every drawer. And so we took an initial stab at pulling out a lot of the bulky stuff, putting it on deck, making sense of it, tossing a lot of it in the dumpster, and then figuring out some like temporary homes for what we wanted to keep. We also took a look at our radar unit, which was a pretty old, I think 1995 era Furuno with the old CRT green screen that wasn't working, and we thought we'd at least give it a shot to see if we could get it back operational before deciding to scrap it.
By a shot, Will means we hoisted him up the mast and he gave it a couple of good knocks.
Yeah, banged on it. I wasn't gonna take it apart. It was one of those things where it's so old that you're not gonna invest a lot of time in trying to fix it.
Huh. No.
It doesn't?
No.
It's not working. No.
Doesn't seem like it's doing. I spent a lot of time, aside from, just taking care of Maddie, doing superficial fixes, patching holes on deck, taking off old lettering. It wasn't mission critical. It certainly wasn't items on the survey, but it went a really long way towards helping us feel like we were putting the boat into better shape aesthetically. Cool. Not too bad. And, considering the state of the rest of the decks and the mildew and everything that need to be cleaned, I don't really know why I'm sussing over tiny little gel coat spots, because look at the project I actually should be doing. Our final project before we put the boat up was to start the process of getting new sails. The sails that were on the boat when we bought her were original, so from 1995, and were very, very baggy.
I mean, they were Doyle. They were originally nice sails, but they were long past their prime. So we started hunting around, trying to figure out how we would approach getting a new set. We shopped it around between local lofts and mail order lofts. So we looked at, I believe, North and Doyle locally in St. Pete, and we looked at Precision, Rolly Tasker, and Zoom sales, which are all Far East mail order sales. They do all their business online. Price differences were pretty shocking, both between local versus mail order and different materials. Plain basic Dacron versus more exotic materials like North 3DI. The range for a new mainsail, staysail, and 110% Genoa ranged from, for the full set, between I think 7,000 to about 35,000 for new North 3DI molded sails. And ultimately we decided we just really couldn't justify the cost of buying locally, which is a shame. We would love to support local sailmakers, so we decided that we would need to go mail order. And between Precision, Rolly, and Zoom, we just got a really good impression from Zoom, who's owned by, or at least partly owned by, Jamie from Totem, who probably most of you are familiar with. It seems like everybody in the cruising world kind of knows Jamie and Ian Gifford from Totem. And he's an experienced sailmaker. He certainly understands cruising needs, having circumnavigated with his family. I got a great impression from Jamie because I had kind of come to my own conclusion, sort of uninformed, but partially informed conclusion that perhaps Hydronet was the right material for us. It's a blended Dacron and I believe Kevlar weave that's sort of somewhere between a standard Dacron sail and a molded sail. It's supposed to be sort of the best of the most high performance kind of cruising sail. And I kind of thought that was where we would land. And I approached the conversation with him with that in mind. And he explained that for our use case, what we described to him, we should save the additional $7,000 or $8,000 we were going to spend on HydroNet for something else that was surely going to come up on the to-do list. And he just talked us into a very high quality UV resistant Dacron material.
We're not affiliated with them. We didn't get any special
Right.
deals, any free anything. Just sharing our experience because, well, first of all, they're a really cool family. So if you don't know Sailing Totem, go check them out. But secondly, we just had a great experience. So wanted to share that.
I guess one of the big differences between going with the local loft and a mail order loft is that you're on your own for measuring. It would have been great to be able to have some very experienced sailmaker from down the road hop on the boat and measure up exactly what was needed. Jamie with Zoom was great about talking us through the process, and they've got very detailed instructions for how to take many measurements. We're not talking about just, luff, leech, and foot. It's taking into account the position of your shrouds, your tracks and cars, and anything that could change the geometry of the sail or interfere with the sail, roller height, etc., etc. But with that said, even with all those instructions, ultimately the measuring buck stops with the owner, which is a bit more disconcerting considering that we'd never done anything like this before. So we're going to start by attaching a halyard to the head swivel shackle just so that we can make sure that we can retrieve it. So we've got this nice non-stretchy steel 100-foot tape measure. We've attached that alongside the downhaul line that we're using so that we're not having to pull the halyard down by our tape measure.
Uh-oh.
Guess I didn't grab the right line. Here, hold that, Cat.
Try to be more helpful, but I got this and this and the camera.
Okay,
All right.
we're back in business. Back to the top. That's it. All right. 61 feet 2 inches for our max hoist measurement. That is So we're going to take the head swivel up to the top of the mast. We've got the tape measure and a halyard or a downhaul to pull it back down.
Okay, so do we have our measurements?
Yeah, I think we've got all of the measurements that we need now. We think we're going to scale down the Genoa significantly from a sort of 130, 140-ish to probably like a 110 high clued Genoa. The staysail will remain a 100% sail, and that should be an awesome kind of all-around sail on breezier days. Anything over sort of 15 knots, and I have a feeling that's going to be our go-to anytime we're reefing the main, basically, and should provide decent power, but it'll still be really manageable while sailing short-handed. So we took maternity, paternity leave from, I believe, January 20th-ish to
February 28th was the day we got back to Chicago.
February 28th. We spent end of January and February working on the boat down in St. Pete with the full intention that we would be quitting our jobs and back on the boat in late May, early June. We would have gone through a yard period, and then we'd be getting on the boat and sailing to the Chesapeake, to Maine for the summer season, and then Bahamas, Caribbean for the winter season following. So as we were driving back from St. Pete to Chicago,
We had just crossed into Chicago. We were on the south side, still in the highway. I remember it really clearly.
Yeah.
And it was the press conference that Trump was having, saying that there was this virus that was worldwide, and the first known case was in the United States.
I think by about March 12th, both of our jobs had gone remote. We were kicked out of the office, and it was, I think we pretty much instantly scrapped the summer's cruising season.
Oh, instantly. We made the split decision to try to keep working for as long as our jobs would have us, try to get permission to work remotely permanently, scrap the season, and try to use the COVID time as really an opportunity to keep saving money so that we could potentially cruise for longer. So we decided to leave winter. Why stay in Chicago if we didn't have to? And relocate to where our boat was. So you'll have to bear with us for the next couple of episodes. We did very little filming in this period. We were just living our lives and happened to be working, raising a kid, doing boat projects. But that basically meant we did it all without a camera. So in the next few episodes, we are gonna yada through a lot of time to get you all to present day, where we are in fact living and traveling on our sailboat. We lucked out, you guys, and found a house to rent that can keep our boat. So the boat's in the backyard, and let's go see. Hey, babe.
Hey,
How you doing?
pretty good.
She's down for a nap. Do you need help?
No, I think I'm pretty well prepped.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's July 17th today, 18th today, and yeah, we were going to be out and doing it, and then everything with COVID hit. So we scrapped our plans, kept our boat, decided to move to Florida to be with our boat, and today it's very exciting because today we are finally going to take her sailing. Very exciting.